Hi, welcome to One-on-One with Dr. Kasonso. And today we bring you the third part of our 2023 budget discussions. We are anticipating the impact of the 2023 budget on the economy in Zambia. And today it's a continuation of the small business talk that we started last week. We want to emphasize the small business development as a way to curb the mass unemployment in the Republic of Zambia. So what we're going to do today is to discuss the most common misconceptions that hinder small business development in Zambia and the limitations of subsistence trading as the main thrust for small business development. We assess the impact of a credit worthless society on small business development. If people are not able to pay their debts, how can small businesses develop? We comment on that. So, and then based on proven business research, we offer hints on how to become a business genius in an economy with many challenges. And then we conclude our program with public policy recommendations for our hardworking government of our President, His Excellency Kahinde Hichilema. So share this link and make sure that people can be able to listen to this important discussion, and they can listen to it now when it's live, or a little bit later. And what we're going to do now is to just allow you to have the moment and time to share the broadcast before we begin knocking out the issues of the day, and we begin to share the wisdom and the gifts and the talent that God has given us to be able to understand something about business. Yeah, so whilst you're sharing that, I'm going to ask the Serenge Band to help us there. Hi. Yeah, yeah. Hi. I'm still waiting for my host here. That we can get started. The Small Business Talk Part Two. We are going to address, you know, several issues about small business development. Um, um, this Saturday segment of Bonano TV is called One on One with Dr. Kasonso. So you can come on and chat with me, or I can have a host to be with me here. And we talk about the current issues in business with a focus on Zambia. So today, it's a Small Business Talk Part 2. And we started this kind of last week. And please share this discussion with your friends on Facebook and subscribe to TV Bonano if you have not. And we are live also on YouTube. Here on Bonano TV, we monitored the performance of the Kwacha this past week. And as business analysts, we noticed that at the end of the business week, the US dollar to the Kwacha was buying at 15 Kwacha 77 Ngwe and selling at 15 Kwacha 82 Ngwe. The Great British Pound, Britain Pound, was buying at 17 Kwacha 56 Ngwe and selling at 17 Kwacha 61 Ngwe. The euro was buying at 15 Kwacha 37 Ngwe and selling at 15 Kwacha 42 Ngwe. The South African rand was buying at 87 Ngwe and selling at 88 Ngwe. The Kwacha slightly depreciated against the major convertible currencies. The Kwacha slightly depreciated against the dollar, the British pound, and the euro. But that's what happened this past week. So now, in noticing this, we also see that can have an impact on business. But overall, the marginal changes cannot have a significant impact on business unless the cyclical depreciating trend exceeds the monthly business cycle. Yeah. So on one-on-one with Dr. Kasonso, that we launched a series of discussions on the business prospects of the Zambian economy in the post-IMF deal. So today it's a small business talk part 2. First of all, what is the main thrust and where does this discussion begin from? So let me try to see if I can find my host here and welcome him to the program. You look fabulous. You look fabulous. Just unmute yourself so that we can hear you clearly. Let's see what's happening. It's on my end. Hello? Robbie?
Are you able to get me?
Yes, now I'm able to.
Hello?
Yes, Robbie, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, Doc. I'm good to go.
All right. So I'm going to hand it over a little bit to you. But you're going to start by telling us what happened on Friday. September 30th, 2002, with the Minister of Finance, and then we can pick it up from there.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Welcome to Bonano TV. Of course, my name is Robbie Chululu, broadcasting from Ndola, Mushili. I'm standing in for Martha Chileshe. No, Doc, the regular host of this program. Wow, this Saturday, we are on one-on-one with Doc, and of course, you've heard what he said, that we need to talk about what happened last month. Yeah, here on Bonano TV, we monitored the performance, Doc, of the Kwacha.
Yeah, I already told the viewers that part. You're picking it up from just what happened with the minister.
Okay, the minister discussed on Friday 30th. The minister, the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Stubeko Musugotwane, presented the 2023 budget in Parliament. This is where he brought the third part of our 2023 discussions. We bring in the 2023 discussions. So the most common misconceptions that hinder small businesses development in Zambia, I'm sure that is what we are looking at, Doc, today?
Yes.
Okay. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. This part where we are delving into what happened on the 30th, we are looking at misconceptions that hinder small businesses development in Zambia and the limitations of substance trading as the main thrust for small business development. We, of course, assess the impact of credit worthless society on small business development. Based on proven business research, we offer hints on how to become a business genius in an economy. Doc, am I?
Yes, you
Okay.
are. Yes, you're clear. You're clear.
Oh, sure. So we are we kind of disturbing me a little bit. Okay, I'm good to go now. So we looked at we conclude our program with public policy recommendations for the hardworking government of our president, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Please, we want you, Doc, to share this discussion with our friends, and of course, those that are live with us on Bonano TV. If they have not logged in, please join us. You are welcome. Doc, kindly, may I be allowed maybe to straight get into some few questions that maybe you need to respond to?
Yes, yes. Let's
Okay.
get to it, brother. Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you so much, Doc. Okay. Doc, what are the most common misconceptions that hinder small businesses development in Zambia? I know, Doc, you've the history of you've lived in Zambia for some time. You know what sectors that we're made of in Zambia. So on this one, Doc, what are the most common misconceptions that hinder small business development in Zambia? Over to you, Doc.
Yeah, that is an excellent question, Rob. And misconceptions are 10 of them, and I'll go through them very quickly here. When we are trying to develop a small business, we come in with the idea that the customer is always right. That is a misconception. If the customer was always right, every company would go out of business. Running a business at the whim of the customer will never lead to a profitable enterprise. However, since the customer is always right, it is important to see things from their point of view, listen and emphasize them. The next step is to firmly sell their expectations with a start so that you satisfy in the end. So, the thing for the small business trader is to develop the best product, but not come in there with the expectation that the customer is always right, because you cannot make a profit if you do that. The second one, we think sometimes that if I build it, then they will come. If I build a business, then the customers will eventually come. This is a small business is not a field of dreams. Just because the founder builds it does not mean customers will line up to buy it. The corollary for this myth is that customers will always buy the best product. Success in business is really about building the best distribution and marketing for the product. So just because you build a business doesn't mean the customers will come. There must be a deliberate effort for that. The other misconception that we have is that the sales are the most important number. And this is nonsense. In measuring financial performance, sales are a vanity and cash flow is the sanity. So for a business to be successful, the cash flow is what must be prioritized. Cash must always come in because cash will meet the bills, will purchase stuff, and will do things a lot. So the volume on sales should not be the priority. Cash is what should be the priority. So we have that misconception about sales. And then the fourth misconception, Roby, is that is about concerning teamwork. While the success of the company does depend on building a great team, let's not be confused. Steve Jobs always said that consensus is not the same thing as collaboration. The leader sets the direction, and the team needs to be able to effectively work together in accomplishing their objectives. So what we're trying to say is there is a misconception that if you are to build a successful team in a business, there must be consensus. No, there doesn't have to be consensus. It's just a clarity of the steps that people can move in and join in. And number five, we have the misconception that financial numbers can be outsourced. So I say, okay, if I build a business, then I will hire an accountant, or I will take the numbers, somebody else will fix the numbers. No, that's a misconception. The person who is developing a business must be familiar with the numbers, the profit and loss, the balance sheet, the cash flow statements, those fundamentals of the running the business. So numbers cannot be outsourced. It's a misconception if we think that can outsource the numbers. Number six is that customers only care about low prices. We think that if I can sell my product at a lower price, then I will sell the product. It doesn't work that way. You can sell the product at a competing price in a relative market. You can sell the product at a competing price in a relative market. And the seventh misconception, Robbie, is we must under-promise and over-deliver. The myth is that if a company sets the expectations to the customer low, then subsequently we will exceed them and the satisfaction will go up. The truth is that if the expectations are set so low, your business will never have the opportunity to get or retain that customer. The customer always wants a higher quality product, a higher quality service. So don't set expectations low, just set your expectations high. Number eight, we think sometimes that success is about making money. Sure, it's one of the ways to keep the score. But if the small business owner focuses only on getting rich, then he will never achieve it. What the small business has to do is to develop value and cash flow from the company, and the financial rewards will always come. And ninth, we think that we must spend money to make money. That is a misconception. The truth is that too much money can actually make the business owner stupid. If throwing a lot of money at a problem is a proven way to be wasteful and not an answer or any solution. So spending money carefully and measuring up each investment results is what is noble and what must be done. It's just not spending money and then eventually money will come. No. And 10, be careful on the social networks. The truth is that social media can be a worldwide waste of time. Certain businesses don't need to be on social media. Small business owners should find out where their customers and their prospects' conversations are happening. Then focus consistently on those social media tools to become part of that conversation. It's not just throwing up things there in the end. So these are the most common misconceptions about small businesses. So if we can have a shift of mind, Robbie, then we can increase our chances of success in running a small business.
Great, Doc. Well, that's interesting. Absolutely amazing. Opening up our thinking that has really been limited to, of course, like you did mention, on misconception number 8 and 9 and 10, where you're saying, we do believe, mostly as many Zambians do believe, that you making money, you need to spend money. And then whenever you're in business, we have always thought it's about making money. Now, here we go. Doc is just, explaining this. Where our president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is saying, my people, need to have a shift of mind and think in those lines where Professor Kasonso is explaining things very well, you know. Doc, you've also highlighted to say spending money cannot result into making money. We've also, I'm agreeing with you, Doc, where we have had a section of people who have, you know, they call it petty cash. And then they socialize. They spend money on other friends, trying to, you know, lure them coming into business. You know, Doc, you've highlighted that one is helping us also, as well as social network. You know, not every business can be connected to social network. That is exciting, Doc. Doc, let me bring you to this one interesting question. What are the limitations, Doc, of substance trading as main thrust of small business development, Doc?
Okay, thank you for that question, Robbie. Subsistence trading is where we just focus on buying a product and come and resell it. And most of what we call doing business in Zambia borders on just subsistence trading. Now, there are limitations to subsistence trading. First of all, subsistence trading is the easy way out. It is very easy for you to be crowded out. If you are only doing subsistence trading.
Okay, Doc is disappeared a little bit, Doc. I'm sure it has to be something to do with network. Are you back, Doc? You went off.
I think there was a break in my network. Just a sudden break. I don't know what that was.
Yes, yes, Doc.
Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Let's go on limitations of subsistence trading.
Okay. So we can't use subsistence trading as a main thrust for developing small businesses, because into buying and selling, you remember a time when we had the people be retrenched and then they have to start businesses in the early 90s.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you remember that time, everybody went to buy the same products and was trying to sell to the same people, to each other.
Yes.
So
yes.
the main limitations we had was that because people were trying to sell the same products to each other, nobody was really able to leverage the market and make a profit. So small business development have to be done tactfully, not in areas where people are only replicating one another's effort in the community. That is the serious limitation. The other one is the impact on the exchange rate. The impact of the exchange rate is such that if we are just buying and selling, then we find ourselves going to other countries to buy. We are selling. We are taking all of our productivity and outsourcing it, and those economies are benefiting from our work, and our own economy is suffering because it's only consuming. So the subsistence trading is a serious limitation. Investments must be made in industries that are able to put out an actual product that we can sell within the country and outside of the country, not just trading in goods from abroad. It has a negative impact on the currency, and it has also a negative impact on the long-term productivity in the country. So subsistence trading cannot be the mainstay of the small business development.
Sure. Thank you, Doc. Well, we seem to be joined by somebody's just joined. Yeah, they've disappeared. Okay. Okay, Doc. Thank you, Doc. These limitations are very, very important to in helping us, develop Zambia. We, as Mushili Bonano, we are very serious in trying to make sure that information is broken down in its simplicity to allow even a common Zambian, that one who is very serious and would want to really buy the program of the New Dawn, because the New Dawn is expeditiously trying to reach to a certain destination where Zambians will not suffer. And now, Mushili Bonano is having a one-on-one with the professor, Dr. Kasonso. Doc, are you around, Doc?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, Doc. Now, Doc, thank you so much for talking about the limitations of subsistence trading. Now, I also want to ask this question, Doc. This is a very, very interesting question, Doc. How would you assess the headwind of a credit worthless society on small business development, Doc?
That's a funny one, a credit worthless society. Anyway,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So the main issue there, Robbie, is
Yes, Doc.
People borrowing and not having ability to pay back. In other words, the majority of your customers as a small business are not credit worthy. In most countries where we see robust growth in terms of business development for small businesses, consumer credit plays a significant role. And this is where we need to build consumer credit to the level of where people are able to buy products or services on credit, and they can be relied upon actually to pay back what they've borrowed. They can be relied upon to pay back what they've borrowed. So there is a serious problem that needs to be resolved, and I think it's a public policy issue. First of all, credit begins with the central government itself. You know that for the longest time we've had a government that has had the inability to pay off what they borrow. That cascades into the companies at firm level and even goes down at family level. Because if the government itself, which is a major customer in the economy, is defaulting, is not paying off its debt, that cascades to the companies. They will fail to pay because the products that they sold or services they sold to the government, they haven't been paid. And then that goes down to the families. The individuals who work cannot be able to make their payments. So it's really a government that has the power to create a society where the players in that society are credit worthy. So, and unless we resolve the problem of credit in the economy, small business development will be very difficult. That's how I would assess it. Because the biggest part is that we have to do business, but we can't do every type of business just on cash. We need to be able to count on others that will get payment from others. So a robust credit in an economy is a major growth determinant. It's a major growth determinant. So there must be deliberate efforts to create credit in the economy. And it's so that if the credit exists at government level, country level, then there's going to be cascading effect of credit existing at the firm level and then down at the family level. So the small business developer will be able to have access to credit to fund the business, also credit to sell to the customer, and at the end of it all, recover that money from the customers. But in an economy where most of us are not credit worthy, small businesses conducted on a subsistence basis cannot build resilience in the economy and cannot build long-term opportunities for the growing children and all the kids that we are taking to school. That's how I assess that issue, Mr. Chihulu. I hope that satisfies some. What do you think?
Yes, Doc. We're looking at a credit worthless society, like our country, Doc, we are coming from the years where, majority civil servants went into credit. Some of them were doing business. They got monies from the bank here and there, and what started happening, Doc? From our earliest discussion, Doc, we've talked about, you get money. What is it that you want to do with your money? You've discussed the misconceptions, about small businesses, and now there was this outcry to say, may government, bail us out of this, problem, And then here is a government that has understood, and that has, introduced programs that must really assist people that are business minded. And those that want to learn business, they are welcome to Mushili Bonano TV, where we will be able to assist them, and have that, vavavu, the power, to assist the economy of Zambia. Now, how are we going to perform as a credit worthless society, because we are being, preached to every day that there's this money that is there for you. There is this already yesterday. There's a honorable minister, honorable MP, Chifubu constituency. He updated his Facebook and said, I am coming to my constituents to dish out money, approved monies, CDF monies, to my people so that they start businesses. Yes. Now, is this money going to be paid back or not? Now, if it's not going to be paid back, Doc, how are we going to handle that as a community? Doc, please help us.
There is a problem with the worldview, and that is why programs that bring public education on business like ours are very important to the country. We have this concept in our heads that someone should give you aid, or someone should come and give you capital, and then you're going to function with that. People who are going to get capital, they must have a business plan. And that business plan should spell out the steps that they will take to invest that money and recuperate that money, and then pay back that money to that enterprise. And in the absence of that, small business development is going to be very difficult. Yes, of course, CDF is a useful, is a very, very useful tool that can be used to access some money. But the question is, how much money can you make from there? How much capital can you obtain from there? I looked at the numbers from last year's budget. It was up 40,000 kwacha. Now, honestly, for 40,000 kwacha, what are you going to buy? That which you can resell or reproduce in the economy if you add your labor. 40,000 kwacha, the threshold of 40,000 kwacha is a support, it sounds like a support fund for subsistence trading. We need slightly a bigger threshold for monies. It's okay for this year to just have maybe 10 projects, and maybe those projects have 100,000 kwacha, so that they can buy equipment, they can rent something, or they can rent a field, or hire machinery and equipment to try and develop, build the way forward around that. That is what is needed. But if we are going to give 40,000 to each group, that is just perpetuating subsistence trading, and we can't develop businesses through that. We need some significant amounts of outlays into the capital equipment or capital assets that can help people make money in more than one accounting period. That is what is needed in that area. And so if we were to use government money in that regard, I think that it's more important to use government money for capital assets than for working capital. Capital assets are equipment that we are going to use that will allow us to do trading or business in more than one accounting period. And then if the people default on that, then you simply go and take back the equipment and put it on the market again and use the equipment as a loan. I think that's what should be done.
Sure. Thank you, Doc, for highlighting such serious matters, because that is what is happening, and especially that you've talked about the threshold of sustaining a business, small scale businesses in our country via CDF. This is where literally a 40,000 cannot do anything. Yes, it can't help us, especially. We have been joined, Doc, by our lovely sister. This is this Martha.
Yes.
Martha, how are you?
Good evening.
Hey, Martha.
I'm okay.
Great.
How are you? I'm glad to join you.
Oh,
Dr.
wonderful.
Kasonso, good evening.
Yes, good evening, Martha. It's nice to see you. You're all in white.
I'm all in white.
You look great. You look great. You look great.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
joining the discussion.
Yes,
Wow.
I have been following through.
Oh, wonderful.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Martha. You've just found us at a time we're discussing something crucial, because this activity is happening right now. It's an active activity in our country, especially in this period. Is it the last quarter? MPs have rushed to their constituencies. They have promised to go back to their constituencies and dish out this money, because the president is very serious. He says, go and make people active, And then we have also, as Mushili Bonano TV, we are seriously engaged with the people on the ground. We want results next year. Yes. Now, we are saying those who will be approved with a 40,000 kwacha, credit facility from CDF with a good plan, they will give a plan, a cash flow plan of about maybe 150, because the people that are approving don't understand that. They will bring down the threshold to say you can still manage within 40,000. We are saying it's not fair.
It's not fair at all.
It's not fair, because that money can't even, construct a pool. Is it a pool or a pond for fish? A sizable, pond for fish. It can't. So we are saying now, what do we do? What is it that we want to do to help people understand, and even those equally that are approving, to help society get to where Zambia wants to get to? That's where we're discussing, Martha. Any contribution that you have?
Yes. Did I hear you, Professor, say that the president has rightly put it that 40,000 kwacha is not enough?
That 40,000 is my assessment, because I have tallied the number and what can be purchased out of that. And, given the inherent mismatches in the economy, to do with the, given the mismatches in the economy to do with inflation and how most of the productive equipment, we have to get it out from outside of the country. And we need to concentrate more on the productive sector than on subsistence buying and selling. My thinking is that the 40,000 from the constituency development for each group for the youth is just a joke. It's a joke. It's not an amount that you can start a business with. And I think that the focus should be on small businesses being developed by being given access or ability to get capital assets. The capital assets are those assets that they can use in more than one accounting period to generate revenues and create income for themselves. So, and the people who should have that should have business plans. Yeah, so that's what I think about that matter. Yeah.
Martha, did you hear what Doka said? Hello, Martha?
Pastor Derek, you're on mute. We need to hear your views on that.
Okay, we are joined with Derek. Derek, brother Derek, good evening. I know we are sharing almost the same time, in South Africa, Dindola. How are you?
Mkwai, how are you? Mulishani Bonse.
I can hear you, but I'm losing.
Ndife bwino nachirayipiko bwadi so nachero kweba timbike bwino amakamera fyonse tubike bwino murandu wakabwari.
Do you have a thought or a contribution on the subject for the day?
At the moment, I'll just say I'm very excited with what's happening. I've watched the previous shows. Everything seems to be going so well with, the past previous recordings. So today I'll just sit in because I have to work out my technicalities on my side. So far, so good.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor. Robbie.
Yes, Doc. Yes. We seem to be moving on a very, very interesting page with everybody. Doc, I have another question for you, Doc. We need to make use of our Doc, because Doc is here to respond to almost all the questions. Now, Dr. Kasonso, you are a scholar,
Yes.
So where after discussing all these matters, and questions that are posed to you, so where do most successful small businesses start from? And how do you become a business genius, in an economy with so many challenges like our country? Mkwai.
Robbie, that's a bomb. That question is a bomb. Yeah. You see, genius, all business people, no matter where they are in terms of their development, have skills. And some business people are great at selling, some are great at managing systems. For me, learning business skills is the same as what happened when we were young and trying to become karatekas, martial arts. You posture yourself in a certain position, and you build your body in such a way that you can always lift that leg and shoot in the air or to an object in front of you. And because these skills are like martial art moves, they feel natural. And then we start to use these skills and flexibly whenever we confront problems and opportunities. Now, in research, Mr. Chihuluhu, the journey to start a business is to start from where you are. Start from where you are. Around where you are, you discern an opportunity from there. And now, because you have to start from where you are, there are three most important things that we can discuss about. Number one is the natural inclinations, and number two are the natural skills. Now, the natural inclinations, entrepreneurs are attracted by challenges. So you see a challenge where you are, that is an opportunity to start. Entrepreneurs enjoy being in leadership roles. People who usually start businesses or go to business, research has shown us that they take the front seat. They don't take the back seat. They don't sit around waiting for someone to donate capital. They go out and even find it. Entrepreneurs are passionate about their ideas. So those are natural inclinations. But what are the natural skills that they need to have? The first one is organization. If you are very disorganized, it's very difficult to start a successful business. And two, entrepreneurs who start businesses that succeed have analytical thinkers. In other words, they can think through difficult situations in a manner that is analytical and can be understood using numbers. And now entrepreneurs are also good at sales. They can talk people into buying their product. Then entrepreneurs are good at taking the initiatives. But just how you become a genius, to start a business and become a business genius and to keep the business growing, you need to be able to correctly identify the most important problem, challenge, and opportunity that you will face at any given time. In addition to that, you need to become good at 5 basic skills. Number 1, come up with the ideas. What business idea can you come up with? And then 2, develop the tactics and technique that you will need to sell the products. And then you have to have an ability to manage a system. Every business, no matter how small, it has a system. And your success is dependent on how you manage your business system. And then on your team, develop superstars, people who can help and handle things for you. And then simply take action. So now you notice, Robbie, from what I've espoused here, the concept I've espoused here, well, you will notice one thing, that business geniuses, people who develop businesses that succeed, they start from where they are. So, ngandi kuchipata eko njikala. And all my life, I have only known the art of going in the bush or in the fields and picking up mice, mbeva. And then I hear a rumor that kuwakarunda kumwinilunga, some people are selling honey. Then I send an email to my nephew, to my nephew who is in the UK. I don't know how to say. Capital. Now I need to venture into selling honey. There's a lot of money. That is not enterprise. Enterprise starts from where you are. If you don't have experience with honey, you don't even know how they harvest honey, you don't know the unit cost of what the unit of honey is, and the unit cost of honey is, and how people are making money in that. So that business genius is simply the art of knowing your surrounding and starting from where you are at. Yeah.
Thank you, Doc.
You're welcome.
So Doc, so mulelanda if we feva kuno kumushidi, feva kuno kumushidi, since twaliberera okushitisha Chidemba, if mokusedenje ne finkubala kwakopa, because we've been used doing that for some time. Na fwe balamba fwe bayikala muno muilamba mukopa belt muno muilamba. Twaliberera bakabiki okuleta cabbage, okuleta omusalu. So if that is what we do, we must strengthen that kind of business that we have, and think big within the same product that we have. Doc.
Yeah, that is excellent. But you see, you have to be aware of one thing called overcrowding. Because Muzambia ngatwasango munenso atampa kantemba. Nishinafo stola kutukira mutampo kantemba. That leads to overcrowding, and the market, the profits for that market segment are dropped significantly because there are too many players there. So, but to be an entrepreneur, you have to be able to discern the opportunities within that small niche where you are. Maybe if you're going to send a thing, double baskets. So then you just pounce on building big baskets. You don't care whether about Fiumbu, or you don't care whether about Finkubala, or whether but you are able to sell to a bigger group. And also the thinking of being a little bit more opportunistic. Certain businesses are not meant to be done forever. Nga kuli kushtisha ama shani ice block.
Yes.
Ngana kutala la mjuni ave ngita bafayo kushta ice block. So the way to do business na ice block ni ya season ikabile. So finonga na kukaba fino the business to do kutaka friji palape nipanga ndachamba no kufanka. Kirikiti, no CDF, just the initiative. And if we are going to develop small businesses in the country, we need to also be weaned off of the idea that the government is coming to start these small businesses for us. Small businesses are developed by the people in the economy. And if the government has provided those opportunities, then they've helped us to increase the customers. We have to take those opportunities. We have to take the initiative.
Doc, that's very, out of the discussion that you're putting across, Doc, something is being born within me, a question, a very serious question, Doc. You know, I'm looking at what Zambia is. But Derek, Zambia for it. If you feel more efo iri abaso, Doc, udia grade 12 udia ngapu ishe skulu. Alera ndati, mfidena ku university. Then udia uli ku university na ku college, alianda changana apuisha, mfidena tempench to. This is a very big crisis that we are having in Zambia. And last week, you remember in our discussion, Doc, I mentioned that the Minister of Finance identified that Zambia is having, a deficit, actually not even a deficit, has about 7 million people that need a job, need job in this country. Now, what we are saying is that here is a country with so many people whose tradition has been, after I complete my education, I need a job as a soldier. I need a job as a police officer. I need a job. It's more like an entitlement. Pantu nebo youth. Ine mfide na sangenchito, muli buka pokola. Mfide na sangenchito, muli buze Dennis, Zaf, and so on and so forth. And then the president, turns our thinking. Apidibula kateka, afpidibula. Ati CDF yise, so that mupange kwa cooperative. And then from there, you can be enterprising youths who will not be lacking, youths that will even employ people. This is where the president is looking at. Aleta na ministry, umufiyashuwa mano, aleta na ministry at small scale business, and enterprise. Atuletera. Umufiyashuwa mano. Aleta ministry, yeah. Elo number 2 Fia truvanya, mchika unde trandati mema vundankana. Bia vundankana, mema bia vundankana. If you number abantu bati pemo basanga na ya vundankana menshi, yari moneka nefiko. He's saying, be patient, let the water settle down. Chila muntu abule muameshi. Uyanga akafya alashtisha. Uyu alaya bonfya sambe. Pantina kwata 6 points balamungisha bakapokola nangu balamungisha baze Dennis. Aya ni amenisha aya vundankene mchika onde. Yes. Munyama opportunities are sana. So we are saying that the president, as I'm getting it, is that he is not saying everyone must be business oriented. No. Others will be buying because of certain opportunities that they may have. Will also buy from those that are doing business. Now, Doc, in view of the foregoing discussion, Doc, what public policy recommendations can you make for our hardworking government of His Excellency? Thank
you so much for the opportunity to talk to the big man, Baliwawan. Yeah. So basically, the recommendation that we can make from our discussion today is that there must be emphasis on the responsibility for citizens to develop the businesses. Government will not develop businesses for people. The people must create businesses that will employ the kids that we are taking to school. So the emphasis must be on the population and not on the government. So we have to win the people off of the thinking that government is what will service the needs of the people. Government creates opportunities. Government creates credit in the economy. Government creates funding, sources funding opportunities. But the ideas of small businesses that are going to create jobs, we said last week here that small businesses usually employ between 1 to 5 people, and most of those are relatives. So the small businesses we're talking about is really support to the families as a way to move. Now, not everybody is going to be in a business. Some people just want a job. But we can't have jobs if people don't create enterprise where people can work. So the emphasis must be on small business development. And the second thing for public policy recommendation. Hello?
Doc, we seem to be running out of time. We seem to be running out of time. I don't know how many minutes can I give you to wind up, Doc?
Okay, just half a minute. Just half a minute here.
Half a minute, Doc. Brother Derek, half a minute, and Sister Martha as well.
Okay. So that is the recommendation we are making. Place the emphasis, take the burden to the people to develop the businesses that can take the country forward. And let the people who are developing ideas to develop business determine the thresholds of resources that they will need to start those businesses. And they should be unleashed, a group of people in the country who can help people develop a business plan from their idea. And then we must also have a deliberate policy to move people in mass from the informal sector into the actual business, because it's the actual business that is going to employ young people when they graduate from college. I think those are the recommendations we can make today.
Thank you, Doc. Those are very powerful recommendations. Brother Derek, you've got half a minute to contribute.
Thank you very much. Professor Jones has said a lot of things that make sense, and I shouldn't even be adding to what he has said. I think on a day today, he has said he's been mouthful on a lot of things, and it's been quite an education for me. But one thing that I want to say, you know, Zambia, or us Zambians, must begin to move away from supplying goods, pan-Congolese, especially in a small business environment. When you're running a small business, we must begin to move away from selling things pan-Congolese. It has never worked before. Every time you supply something pan-Congolese without sureties, that is economically committing suicide. And us Zambians, anybody who's doing business, to the coconut chef into pan-Congolese. There's no sense in that, economic sense in that.
Thank you so much, Brother Derek.
Yeah, I think just to pick back a little bit on Derek's point, I think there should be laws in the country that empowers if the rules are stiff there, people will not buy on pan-Congolese. And if people don't buy on pan-Congolese when they cannot pay back, then we can have better chances for small businesses.
Thank you so much, Doc.
Just a quick one. Ngapadi Congolese supply with sureties. Ngachako atabari pefyona bako sapo sana.
Derek. Well, Sister Martha, what can you say? You have half a second, a minute. Sister Martha. Unmute your okay. Hello, sister.
She's talking and she's still on mute.
She's on mute, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Doc, we'll wind up and close today's show. Of course, appreciating this opportunity where we've discussed quite a number of things, where we've talked misconceptions, that hinder small businesses development in our country. We also have discussed, limitations of subsistence trading. We've also talked about credit worthless society like ours, Chanson Isana, and also business genius, and also equally your contributions regarding public policy recommendations. I will not have the powers to close the show, but Doc, over to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for watching us, and thank you, my friends, for working as a team together here. Good things start small, and let's continue the discussion next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.